What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So it's that time of the week. It's time for the weekly rotation, and got a few that are pretty new to the collection, a few that may surprise you that I reached for already, being that I'm in the humid beach Gulf Coast weather. Got some stuff that actually wore pretty well because we had a few days that were straight up autumn weather, honestly, in the high 70s. It wasn't too bad. It was pretty nice for the most part. It hasn't been smothering hot, so starting to transition the rotation just a little bit, as you'll see this particular week. So it's week number 197 in the week rotation. So stay tuned. Starting off on Sunday is a brand new release from Lattafa. They have now released two incredible fragrances in the Bade'e line in 2023. This one is Honor and Glory. Lattafa's Bade'e Honor and Glory. This beautiful white bottle with the white and gold metal plate. Very beautiful fragrance. So pineapple upside down cake and this woody turmeric type of base. A little spiced. It's delicious. It smells great. The sillage surprised me on this because I never stopped smelling myself. No olfactive fatigue issues whatsoever. I just kept smelling it and smelling it and smelling it. This is another great release by them. I've heard rumblings of this is kind of like Nishane's Ani X, which I haven't tried. I can't confirm nor deny because I just don't know. But what I can tell you is this smells really, really good for right under 40 bucks is what I paid for it from Fragrance Buy. I'll try to have links down below for all these fragrances if you guys want to check any of them out. But, I mean, I fully expect people to hype this one up. It's really good. If it's not already happening, I don't know. I don't watch every piece of fragrance content, but this is good stuff. If you liked Sublime, then you like the more interesting fragrances anyway, because that's a fruity rose dominant fragrance. So this, a little bit more most people's speed for the fall that like more delicious smelling gourmands, because there's a gourmand element to this with a nice woody spicy tone to kind of keep it grounded to where it's not just non-stop dessert smell. It's good stuff, and I actually wore it again when I got out the shower because I was enjoying it so much. I just wanted to reapply and keep it going. So all day on Sunday was the new Lattafa Bade'e Oud Honor and Glory. Moving into Monday, this is another one where I doubled up. I ended up wearing it again when I got out the shower because I haven't worn it in a little while. And the funny thing is, my wife does not like this fragrance. Turns out, because it's been quite a while since I've worn it last, and she made sure to let me know she didn't care for it. She didn't hate it, but she definitely did not like it. It is Roja Parfum's Vetiver Parfum Cologne. The sad part is, guys, a lot of you know how I am with Vetiver. It's my favorite Vetiver fragrance, and my wife does not like it. Ironic how things work out sometimes, right? Beautiful, fresh, woodsy. There's some spicy greens to it. Of course, there's some fresh citrus. I love this fragrance. This is one of the few, even when I had a lot of trials and tribulations with Vetiver fragrances, and I was super choosy, super selective. This was one of the 4 or 5 Vetiver dominant fragrances that I always enjoyed from the moment I got it. That's the craziest thing. It's literally my favorite Vetiver fragrance, and my wife just does not like it. Not everything's for everyone, but again, it goes back to the main point of wear fragrances for yourself. Now look, if it was off-putting, oh my god, scrub that off please. For her, if it was like that, I wouldn't wear it around her. That's not the case. She just doesn't care for it. But I enjoy the hell out of this fragrance. Like I was saying, wear fragrances for yourself. Obviously, you want to be respectful around those you're going to be around the most. I understand that. I'm not saying not to be, but wear what you like, guys. Wear fragrances for you. Sure, getting a nice compliment's always a good thing, and it's not necessarily an experience I have with everyone I come around. Typically, I've never really gotten a compliment from this fragrance, but again, my wife doesn't care for it. But I sure love the hell out of it. If you haven't tried it and you're a fan of Vetiver, don't let my wife not liking it turn you away from trying it. Get your nose on this, get a sample, get a decant, get something. I wore it during the day. I wore it out the shower. It's been a while. It's Roja Parfum's Vetiver Parfum Cologne. Moving into Tuesday, this may surprise you. You would think it's a little too hot for this, and I guess for some people it might be, but I was in the mood for it. This is one of those rare occasions where I just love a carbon copy of a designer fragrance. This is from Alexandria Fragrances. This is Et Sauvage Elixir. Obviously, based on the name, you can tell. This is their take on Sauvage Elixir. And if I was to say there's one clone out there that is literally a carbon copy of Sauvage Elixir, it's this one, guys. There's a lot of people that make really good versions of it. Making Sense 4.0 Elixir is phenomenal. A little bit more on the sandalwood. God, this is so good. It's literally the same quality, the same scent profile, the same nuclear performance. It's top to bottom. It's pretty much the same fragrance. I'm not going to say it's 100% identical, but I'm going to say it's like 95 to 98%, I guess. Well, about as close as you can get, I would say, is what this is to the original. There's some good stuff out there. Lattafa Assad doesn't smell exactly like it. Jasad Ambassador Intense definitely does not smell just like it. In the opening, you'll be reminded a little bit, but that's kind of its own fragrance as it dries down. But, I mean, if you're looking for a carbon copy, now, don't get me wrong, this 100 ml is going to be $100. When you compare it to the 100 ml and even the 60 ml of Sauvage Elixir, that is at a discount, but Alexandria runs codes all the time, 15, 20, 25%. Or you could get it in 60 ml, which I believe is $60 before any codes, and that's where the real value's at, because let's say you can walk away after a code with getting it for 45, 48 bucks or something like that. You're getting Sauvage Elixir for that price, basically, is how you can look at it, because it's about as one-to-one as a clone's ever been that I've come across in anyways. And I absolutely enjoyed wearing this one. I actually wore a little too much. I wore 4 sprays. It was kind of suffocating a little bit, but overall I enjoyed it. I smelled great all day long. During the day, Alexandria Fragrances at Sauvage Elixir. And then when I got the shower, it was time for a good shave. And I decided to go with my Nivea for Men Deep Comforting Aftershave Splash, which is a deep vanilla, a rich vanilla smell. And I thought, I want to spray something with vanilla. But I don't want deep, rich, fresh, super powerful, cloying vanilla. I want fresh. So I went with a tropical vanilla. Calvin Klein Eternity Now. Not one that too many people talk about or hear about. This is a tropical fruity coconut vanilla fragrance. Admittedly, the tropical fruit smell doesn't last a super long time. A little pineapple-y citrus type of smell. Goes into somewhat of a sunscreen creamy coconut into a creamy vanilla woody scent. Average performance 4, 5, 6 hours depending. It lasted till I went to bed, which was a few hours. I don't remember exactly. But it's a decent fragrance. It's nothing special. It's nothing phenomenal. It's not a great replacement for anything. But if you want a very affordable, super under the radar, smells like a lot of tropical coconut fragrances, but doesn't smell exactly like all of the ones it might remind you of, it's pretty affordable. It's easily forgotten, unfortunately, because Calvin Klein's put out so many fragrances over the years, especially with the name Eternity on them. This is kind of a forgotten flanker. If you haven't tried it, I'll tell you what, after a good shave with a vanilla-based aftershave splash, it layers really, really well. Out the shower, Nivea for Men Deep Comforting Aftershave Lotion, and Calvin Klein Eternity Now. Moving into Wednesday was a very, very sad day here in the fragrance community, and for me personally, my dear friend E.J. Wells, I just got the news that he had passed away that morning, so it was natural that I was going to go with something actually that was the theme for this particular day and the following 2 days after, or stuff from Happyland, and obviously the thing that's most special as far as the fragrances that came out of the house for me was the one that he made for me, so it was natural that I went with Man Shit. As you'll see, it says created for TLTG at the bottom of the label. He made this for me like January of 2020. Zed Creators, the first round wasn't even out yet. We were still working on scent profiles. It was hush-hush. It wasn't even public knowledge yet. This smells like Creed's Bois de Portugal with a hefty dose of smoke. There's a strong smoke accord. So it's still on the market as Homeland Extreme. It's just a different label. We did a limited run with it tied to me. Ridiculous performance. It's been a while since I wore this. I forgot how freaking strong this is. I did 4 like less than half sprays because these atomizers, guys, crazy. Ridiculously strong. But if you like classic masculine fougères, citrus, creamy aromatic, creamy woods, a little herbaceous. Like I said, think of stuff like Creed's Bois de Portugal, for example. Very gentlemanly, classic, classy type of style with a heavy dose of smoke. Like a straight, not incense, a straight up like dark smoke accord. Almost like a birch tar, if you will. This is This is not for everyone, not for the faint of heart, if you will, as the saying goes. So it was a must wear for me on that particular day. But may you rest in peace, my friend. Sorely missed. He will be sorely, sorely missed. Hope those of you that have your Happyland fragrances will enjoy them. I talked to his right-hand man yesterday at the recording of this, and Happyland's not going anywhere. They have everything they need, so anybody that may ask, yeah, Happyland Studios is not dying. It will live on in memory of a brilliant, wonderful man in E.J. Wells. So during the day, Happyland Studio, man shit, created for TLTG. Then when I got out the shower, after wearing something so heavy, pretty heavy, all day. It was a heavy day in general, wearing something heavy. This wasn't necessarily the most freshest choice out the shower, but I had the Parfum coming in the next day, so I wanted to wear Nikos Sculpture Homme. And I just wanted to start wearing it anyways. I haven't worn it in a while, and it's great for the fall. And beautiful orange blossom dominant, creamy, spiced woods and rich florals, a little bit of citrus. God, that smells good. God, that smells good. If you like Montal wood and spices, smells very similar. Kind of like the budget version, if you will. Not super synthetic, but sure, a little synthetic. You can get it for 20 some odd bucks. The next day, the Parfum came in. The Parfum is the exact same fragrance. It's the same formula, same note breakdown. It smells exactly the same, but with a higher oil concentration. An actual same formula, higher oil concentration, so it wears a little heavier. It is a little bit richer. It's not quite as loud and bright, effervescent and ozonic, if you will, in the opening, so it's not quite as bright. So if you have one, you don't have the other. If you have this, you don't need the Parfum. If you have the Parfum, you don't need this, unless you just love this scent profile that much. Reviewing fragrances, that's how I had to find out, was getting both. But this is still great stuff. This was a cheapy hype beast years ago, and it still deserves love. This is good stuff, especially for the autumn season that we're transitioning into. Out the shower, Nikos Sculpture Homme. Moving into Thursday, we went right back to the House of Happyland Studio with a more polarizing fragrance from EJ's Creations that I adore. It's top 10 at minimum. If I really sit down and think about it, it's probably top 5 for me from Happyland. It is El Goodo, because it's very Goodo. I love this stuff. I love this stuff so much. It's got a fruits accord with brandy. It smells like a grape whiskey to me, always has. Grapes, apple, a lot of grapes. And apple with this sweet boozy accord of brandy. There's a lot of woods here. I've heard it smells like a bar room, and I totally get where they're coming from, the people that have said that. Love this stuff. Man, this smells so good. If you like super boozy, you will smell like you've been drinking with this. He's got a few fragrances like that. Cripple Creek's like that too. You'll smell like you've been drinking. It's got whiskey and rum, and a lot of it. Actually, I think it's bourbon. It's either bourbon or whiskey and rum, whereas this is brandy. It's rich, it's sweet, it's fruity, it's woodsy. It's not for everyone. It's ridiculously strong. Oh my lord, is this stuff strong, but I absolutely adore it. It's one of the more unique fragrances in my collection. It's one of the best boozy fragrances in my collection. And it's one of the most powerful, too. During the day, Happyland Studios, El Goodo. What a creative name. And then I got the shower. Basically a ripoff of Polo Deep Blue Parfum. Hollister Wave X. I picked this up at Beal's recently, and it's pretty much the same fragrance. It belongs somewhere in between Polo Blue EDP and Polo Deep Blue Parfum. More so the Deep Blue Parfum. It's good stuff. It doesn't perform as well, but for the like $12 I paid for this 30 ml, I'm glad I picked it up, because now it's like whenever I want to wear Polo Deep Blue Parfum but don't want to spray out of that bottle, want to just spray a cheap clone basically of it, here you go. I can roll with it. It's totally a safe blind buy as long as you like Polo Blue or shower gel scents or anything like that. But it's also super redundant if you have a bunch of versions of Polo Blue, most notably Polo Deep Blue Parfum. But it's a nice little cheapie. I've been rocking it out the gym the last 2 weeks out the shower the last 2 weeks since I got it. I think it's pretty nice. Nothing special, not a must-have, but I like having it. Out the shower, Hollister Wave X. Moving into Friday, we went with Happyland again on this particular Friday, and this is technically my second favorite creation EJ's ever made, because I still can't believe he made basically a blue fragrance. It's his freshest fragrance, My favorite's Homme for the holidays. My favorite gourmand, my favorite coffee fragrance. It's my favorite thing EJ's ever made. But my second favorite is Shameless. Shameless is some good stuff. You can see I dropped my bottle when we were moving. Took a big old shot. Luckily it didn't break. But this is oranges and blackcurrant in the top. It's a little bitter, sharp and tart, but fruity. Sharp citrus, bitter fruitiness. Like I said, a little tart. Love that. Starts to settle into this slightly soapy lavender. Bit of an aquatic feel from some ambergris with a dose of vanilla. Like I said, it's a straight up blue fragrance. It kind of smells like, picture the orange from Aqua Amara without the incense. But the orange that comes across in that, kind of that rich, dark, sharp orange smell with the blackcurrant that really relates a little bit to a Ventus, like a touch of Crete Ventus. And then settle into just, I don't know, your everyday aromatic vanilla, aquatic blue fragrance tie-in because of the ambergris. The ambergris does come across a bit aquatic. So it's kind of like the best of everything blue fragrance type of blend is how, because it'll remind you of elements of a few different fragrances, but it doesn't straight up smell like one particular fragrance, I gotta say. In some ways, this is his Aventus, but it doesn't smell like, for maybe 10 seconds, you might get Aventus in the top, but after that, it's a drastically, wildly different fragrance from Aventus as it settles in. It's good stuff. There was a time that I would argue this was my favorite fragrance from him because I was wearing it so much. That's where the dent came from, because anybody that's bought Happyland fragrances, he always would fill the oils into the neck and leave just enough room for the atomizer stem to add volume to where it would get close to the top. So he was good for that. He would give you every drop of the fragrance as he could when he would fill bottles. What a good dude. Always give you your money's worth. But great performer, one that I highly recommend checking out from the brand if you're going to get samples or looking to get a safe play from Happyland. Maybe you're not sure what to get. This is the safest play they have because even though it's an orange label, this was EJ's blue fragrance. During the day, Happyland Shameless. Now I got the shower. I just talked about it recently in a video, so I was like, screw it, I'm going to wear it. Cristiano Ronaldo CR7 Game On. Cristiano Ronaldo's take on Stronger With You from Emporio Armani. That's pretty much what it smells like. It's a fruitier take on Stronger With You, but it smells unmistakably like Emporio Armani Stronger With You. Look at that atomizer. I'll do that one more time. Great atomizer. I have to say, good quality cap, bottle, everything. Like, for 30 bucks, even though it's basically a designer clone of a designer, that's how you look at it. It's like designer quality. It's not too synthetic. It's like right below, almost on par with the same quality as the Emporio Armani Strong With You line, which isn't super high quality. It's a designer line. Like, they're kind of what and what. But you get a great cap, a good hefty bottle presentation that feels of decent quality. And I'm going to spray it one more time. This whole room's going to smell like this fragrance, but I don't care. Because that atomizer. I love these pressure sensitive, pressurized, however you want to view it, atomizers. That's a nice touch. As a fragrance lover and enthusiast, as some of you watching are, I would think the majority of you, we appreciate a great atomizer. This has a great atomizer. For 30 bucks, I mean, it's not rivaling Dior completely. Or Creed. Creed underrated for how great their atomizers are. Or the famed Sean John 3AM, Jimmy Choo Man line. That's where I would relate it most, Jimmy Choo Man line. Very similar atomizer. This whole line is good. They have one that smells like Lamal. They have one that kind of smells like a soapier Invictus. They've got some good ones, but they're straight up, basically knockoffs of other fragrances. They're glorified clones, but there's some good ones at least. That counts for something, right? Out the shower, Cristiano Ronaldo's version of Stronger With You called CR7, Game On. And finally, on Saturday, we were out and about. We did a beach day. We had some errands to run. So I wore it to the beach, after the beach, and I'm wearing it after the shower currently because it is Saturday evening. It is the same day that I wore Mandarina Duck, Vida Loca for him. Love the color scheme. Teal to yellow, teal, green, yellow, gradients. This cap, you gotta fight to get that damn thing off. It holds into place. You can pick this one up from the cap. Now, it's an acrylic cap, Okay, it's nothing special. It's translucent plastic, basically, is pretty much what acrylic is, but it fits the theme and the aesthetic. Solid atomizer. But the best part, so there's a few notes that are different, but let's get this out the way. Yes, it smells like Le Beau Le Parfum. No, it doesn't smell as close to the original Le Beau. I kept getting asked, Kahila Platinum or this. That's like asking Le Beau or Le Beau Le Parfum, because that's pretty much what it is. If you want a carbon copy of Le Beau EDT, yes, Kahila Platinum. If you want one that's closer to Le Beau Le Parfum, you need this one. It was $34, I think I paid for it, 30 something from Fragrance Buy. I'm digging it. I said I was going to wear it on my next beach day, which was a few days later after I got it. I'm really digging it. I'm working on a full review right now for it. Later in the week after the recording of this, I'm going to wear it again, and we'll probably do a full review, but the early thoughts I want to give for you guys is it doesn't perform as well. It's basically like, look at Le Beau Le Parfum. They call it Le Parfum, but it's an EDP. It's an eau de parfum concentration. You take that scent profile, slight tweaks, you lower the oil concentration, you have Vida Loca. It's like the EDT version of that scent profile. Because instead of bergamot, you have orange, mandarin orange here. And I forgot what other trade out they had. Mint and sage in here versus the cypress that you get in Le Beau Le Parfum. Like, the accords are pretty much the same with the slightest of differences. It does dry down extremely similar with that powdery tonka bean, a little bit of a soapy floral feel, sweet coconut, fruity, tropical fruity. It's got the pineapple. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. So far, I've clocked the sillage being stronger than I absolutely thought it could be. I've been surprised by the sillage. It's the first hour is the strongest projection. Then the next 2 hours, it settles in nicely. The next 2 to 3 hours. So about to the 3 to 4 hour mark, I keep smelling myself. Like, it got on my collar or my shirt and stuff like that, and it kept going and going and just constantly reminding me it was there, all the way into about the 5 to 6 hour range before it really became a skin scent where it wasn't giving me wafts of reminding me anymore. So average longevity, surprising sillage, and pretty good projection overall in this, after this first wearing, because I've done some test sprays, but this first full wearing, it's technically 3 full wearings throughout the day, but I'm digging this stuff, guys. I'm digging this. If you were looking for an affordable option for Le Beau Le Parfum, this seems like it will do the trick. I'm pretty much impressed by it. Don't go into it looking for a beast. Go into it anticipating a fresher, weaker version of it. Just not super weak. I don't find it super weak. It's an average performer overall. It smells fantastic, and it's a bona fide cheapie. And it looks cool. Very beachy. So, during the day, all day, Mandarina Duck, Vida Loca for him. Well, that was this week's rotation, and until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What'd you guys wear this week? I'm always curious. I love reading those comments. As a lot of you know, this is my favorite format to do every week. We're almost at 200 weeks straight of the weekly rotation, and my favorite comments to read every week is when you guys put your rotation of what you've been wearing. I'm just curious on what has been resonating with people. Did we match at all? It doesn't have to be the same day, but did somebody wear Et Sauvage Elixir from Alexandria this week? Or somebody got Vida Loca around the same time I did, and they've been wearing that? What do you think about it? I'm curious to see what you guys put down in the comments. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the stuff that I wore this past week, give it a spray now. There's always a chance you might thank me later. Have a good one, guys.